Hello everybody, welcome back. It's a bit of an early start today, having a look at the 15-minute chart, which is looking a little bit scary at the moment. Since I woke up this morning, which is obviously very, very early, because I've got two little children, I witnessed a dump of almost 7%. But now it looks like that's being bought straight back up, because that's what Bitcoin's been doing recently, and it enjoys basically the dips, buy the dips basically. So that was 5% move in basically 3.5 hours, just less than that. Now the fact is that we're getting these dumps now. This one did get bought straight back up, and that's every opportunity from this point to keep going into 19,000 and so. The chances of hitting 20,000 exactly at this point now is becoming, in many people's eyes, quite realistic. But personally, I've been watching the whale reports of quite a lot of, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin getting brought to Coinbase over these last few days. That sort of, that's not an indicator in itself, but it is a little telltale sign that some people are getting ready to sell to fiat currency, and it could cause that dump. So the idea being that if I was one of those people, and the sentiment on the internet and on Twitter, on YouTube, is that we're going to 20,000, and we could very well go to 20,000. When the sentiment is so high like that, and everybody's so bullish, and we're so close to an all-time high, the chances are that you're going to get front run, and there will be a dump. Now, if we have a look at the price action now in comparison to where we were at the all-time high, we're ever so close to it. In fact, we're almost there. Now, there's very little to go by at this point now for realistic price rejections, apart from the all-time high itself, which is essentially just short of 20,000. So, are we going to get that dump? Is the dump going to take place before 20,000 or just after 20,000? You're asking the wrong person, because absolutely nobody knows at this point. It's basically it's a FOMO game. Everything's being FOMO'd. Now you've got all these kind of like I say, institutional TV stations, CNBC. I can't get my words out. It's very early. I've been up for a long time. You've got Bloomberg mentioning it. You've got obviously a tweet every 27 seconds from people like Altcoin Daily telling people to buy. You've got PayPal. You've got all these people basically just chipping little bits of money in here, there, and everywhere. So normally what happens in any kind of bull market or a FOMO situation is when the retailers start to flood in mass, which is what's happening at the moment. That generally causes the last week before the dump, really, because the people who are in control are the ones with the big amounts, the ones that do essentially control the price. And I'm not saying that the whole thing's a scam. It certainly isn't a scam. All price movement is manipulated by default. That's what it is. When people buy, people sell. Wicks go up, wicks go down. That's how it works. So, but the thing is, when you've got an asset like Bitcoin, and you do have some essentially institutional whales that have accumulated over a long period of time, you've also just got lots of whales in general. They do have the opportunity to move the market if they wanted to, and there is the idea of the great wealth transfer, which is what cryptocurrency should really represent. But these things don't often play out that way, do they? So what I'm anticipating now, because like I say, because the sentiment is so high now, and everybody's wanting to not miss out. This reminds me very much of 2017. It's just almost exactly the same situation, really. And what we'll see is, the candles go up until the point where people want to take their profits in mass, and the obvious place to take a profit will be around this level, because when we saw what happened when we got to this level in the past, it was a significant retrace. It was a dump of all dumps. In the space of 5 days it went down 45%, and in the space of a couple of months it went down 69%, almost 70% in the space of 53 days, so in a couple of months. And then obviously we all know what took place in the months to come after that. It did retrace a significant amount all the way down to basically 84%. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. We are in a different part of the cycle, regardless of the FOMO and the institutional comings and goings. But what I am saying is that me personally, I am deciding to take profit around this level because, you know, I've had a good run on this. I've had a good run on all the cryptocurrencies, and I'm actually just going to take some profit. The only things that I'm going to be keeping going is my trading bots. They're the only things that I'm going to keep going because the trading bots will make me profit regardless of the up and down moves. So I will just constantly be making money from my Bitsgap bots. But other than that, all my spot account, my margin account, everything like that is going to be withdrawn for the time being, and we're just going to wait and see how this one plays out. Because in a situation like this, you know, there is definitely room to move up. The money flow index hasn't yet reached a peak. The RSI certainly hasn't reached a peak, and the MACD is certainly bullish. There are certain telltale signs in a way that there is ready for a dump, ever so slightly, if we see that we've got bearish divergence on the 1 hourly chart. So this does mean that there is a chance that this dump could happen any minute. But for me personally, it's getting a little bit too much for me. You know, I've got other things I need to be doing today, and the last thing I want to be doing is worrying about losing multiple thousands of dollars. Whether that's up or down, I'd rather take my profit here and buy back, you know, maybe in a month or so, and be happy with the profit that I've made, than lose out on maybe a few more thousand. So I'm happy with that, and that's my plan. That's my game plan. Things are looking a little bit too rich here for me, a little bit too toppy. And that's my game plan. However, like I say, I will obviously keep a certain portion of my Bitcoin for my trading bots at Bitsgap. And if you want to set some of that stuff up for yourself, I do have links below. You'll get yourself a 14-day pro account. Actually, you don't have to pay anything, and if you don't want to continue, obviously you don't have to pay anything. But there's no money exchanging hands. It's just for you to play around with the trading bots if you wanted to give it a go. But that's my take on the situation right now. You know, I'm not saying we're going to dump today, but the way I'm looking at it, we could dump at any minute, or we could have a nice big wick up, and then we could certainly have a 20, 30, 40% drop down. So for me, I'm taking the profits, and I'm just going to watch this from the sidelines. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Stay safe, and try to keep yourself from Twitter, because it's getting a little bit too bullish, and when something like that happens, you know, it's best to stand back. Take it easy.